So before we leave Pewter City Gym, Brock decides to give us one last gift, which is TM39 Rock Tomb. Anyways, hey, he says it too. A TM allows you to teach a move to any Pokemon on your team. Unfortunately, none of my Pokemon can learn this move, I'm ignoring you, so we'll have to give it to someone else. There's really not much else for us in Pewter City. Pewter. So we might as well head on to the next town, which appears to be Cerulean City. Boy, that seems like a long road we have ahead of us. Thankfully, before we leave, one of Prof Oak's aides are here to give us a gift. We just got the running shoes. With these babies on, we can actually run around. You cannot believe how painful it was before we got these things. Oh, what's this? There's a letter that came with them. Dear Westy, hey, that's me. Here is a pair of running shoes for my beloved challenger. Remember, I'll always cheer for you. Don't ever give up. From Mom. Aw, thanks, Mom. I can always count on your support. Anyways, as we head on to the next route, we are greeted by an insane amount of trainers. Like, seriously, the amount of trainers that we have run into in this game have literally doubled because of this single route. We got this guy who claims he saw us in Viridian Forest, despite not sharing a name with a single trainer from the Viridian Forest. I don't know if I believe you, Trainer Colton. Then there's this guy who proudly proclaims, I like shorts, they're comfy and easy to wear. Who starts a conversation like that? I just got here. Why aren't you wearing shorts? What in the world did I just walk into? As we find some tall grass on this route, we find a girl who walks up to us and says, Eek, did you touch me? You approached me. I don't appreciate these false accusations. Anyways, we can find a couple of new Pokemon here on Route 3. We got both male and female versions of Nidoran. Fun fact, only the unevolved Nidoran female can breed and produce offspring, which causes some major questions to be asked as to why Nidoran male do not have the same quirk. Boy, they truly did not think that one through. This route also introduces us to the balloon Pokemon Jigglypuff, who on top of being an absolute menace in Smash Brothers, is a normal type. Why am I pointing that out? Because that'll change someday. That'll change someday. Also, I should mention, just because I'm not adding a Pokemon to my team, doesn't mean that it's not worth adding to a team. Feel free to experiment, that's half the fun of Pokemon. Anyways, as we come to the end of Route 3, we come upon the entrance to a cave. But before we even think about checking that place out, we should probably heal up in this Poké Center. Which I'm just realizing that I haven't mentioned Pokemon Centers until right this second. Pokemon Centers are where you go to heal your Pokemon. It fully heals them, and it doesn't cost you a dime. How are they funding this? Anyways, if we talk to this old man reading a newspaper, he says Team Rocket attacks Cerulean citizens. Not a day goes by without Team Rocket being in the news. Well, they sound really mean. I hope we don't run into them. There's also this Scottish man over here who says, Hello there, laddie. Have I got a deal just for you? Never mind, my Scottish accent is terrible. I'll save you from it. I'll let you have a secret Pokemon, a Magikarp, for 500 Poke. So you'll buy it, am I right? Well, that sounds like quite the deal. Sure, I'll buy your Magikarp. Oh, it can only splash. Have fun in the box, Magikarp. So you can only carry 6 Pokemon at a time. If you get more than 6, the extras go into the PC. Don't ask me the science on that. The game doesn't bother explaining it either. But you can also store, let's just call them undesirable, Pokemon in the box as well. Anyways, now we might as well head on to the cave, which is the entrance to Mount Moon. Mount Moon is a dungeon, kind of. It's certainly a different area of the map. Unlike in the overworld, you can run into a Pokemon at any time here, and all the Pokemon in Mount Moon are entirely new. Including Geodude, which was one of Brock's Pokemon, that we can now catch one of our own. And Paris, a new bug Pokemon. And the one that I guarantee that I'm going to get annoyed trying to get footage for, the rare Clefairy. There is a 1% chance you'll run into one. I have a better chance of paying my bills with this video alone. Unfortunately, also among this new crop of Pokemon is Zubat. I like Zubat when I am using it. Otherwise, Zubat sucks. Both literally and figuratively. Zubat has the ability to confuse your Pokemon, where they can occasionally hit themselves. So, hey, this is Editor Westy here. I somehow went the entirety of Mount Moon without getting confused once. So yeah, I don't have any footage of this. Sorry. The one time I wanted to be confused! Thankfully, it can't poison us. Man, could you imagine a Pokemon that could poison and confuse you? That Pokemon sounds like it would be the worst. Anyways, there are also trainers in here as well, including still bug catchers somehow. Huh. But also, we can find this guy who says that he's looking for fossils here. Oh neat, I love fossils. I'll keep an eye out for them as well. But as we continue to explore Mount Moon, we run into a member of Team Rocket, which is that group of criminals we heard about earlier. Oh boy, I'm super scared, guys. I hope my Pokemon can handle them. Oh, right. I forgot I'm a fully grown adult playing a game meant for children. These guys don't stand a chance against my tactical genius mind. Stop laughing. So it's kind of hard to see Team Rocket as a threat nowadays, especially thanks to the, anime.
Team Rocket's blasting off again!
But for the sake of the narrative, I'll try to treat them like the gangsters they're supposed to be. So Team Rocket is up to something sketchy, and unfortunately the Pokemon universe doesn't believe in letting police officers enforce the law. So I guess it's up to us to stop whatever they're doing in this hole in the ground. Oh, they're trying to find the fossils first. Over my dead body. After beating up every person with an R on their chest in this place, we eventually get to the end of Mount Moon, where we come face to face with our last member of Team Rocket. And Buddy continues to decimate their entire team. In fact, Buddy has gained so much experience from sweeping Team Rocket that he starts to evolve, and Buddy becomes Charmeleon, a welcomed reward for beating up all these bad guys. But it doesn't look like we're done with Mount Moon yet, as we can see the fossils, but before we get there, it appears as if a nerd stands in our way. I found these fossils, they're both mine. Yeah. Not if I lick them first. Wonder if I'm ever going to regret some of these bits someday. Thankfully, Margarine of all Pokemon was able to basically sweep this nerd's entire team. After humiliating the super nerd Miguel, figured I'd do a name drop because why not, he says that he'll share. You bet that we'll share. You know what, give me your lunch money too. Anyways, we're given an opportunity to select a single fossil from a choice of two. The Dome Fossil and the Helix Fossil. If you know anything about the Pokemon fandom, then you know that thanks to a Twitch broadcast that happened over a decade ago, wow, that hurt to say out loud, there's a type of cult that surrounds the Helix Fossil. Fandoms are so weird, man. But unfortunately for those people, I've joined enough cults in my lifetime, so I'm gonna go with the Dome Fossil. This causes Super Nerd Miguel to pick up the Helix Fossil. Just let me know if you start hearing voices and have an odd obsession with worshipping birds. But now we're moving on out of Mount Moon. Oh, hey look, a moonstone. Oh right, that's such a big thing for this place. Oh well, guess we'll get into evolutionary stones later. Anyways, as we leave Mount Moon, we head on down the path and we find two Kung Fu guys hanging out. If you talk to them, they can teach your Pokemon either Mega Punch or Mega Kick, which are pretty powerful moves. So now humans can teach Pokemon moves. Okay, why not? Oh, also we're on Route 4 now, but technically we entered Route 4 before we entered Mount Moon. Just don't think about it. Anyways, there are two new Pokemon in this route. Kind of. One of them is Ekans, and the other is Sandshrew. These two are what is known as version exclusives, where if you're playing Fire Red, you'll run into Ekans, and if you're playing Leaf Green, you'll run into Sandshrew. Back when they were first making this game, all the way back in the early 90s, there was an idea that each player would have their own unique run of a Pokemon game with randomized routes and whatnot. Shigeru Miyamoto said that would be too confusing and they wouldn't be able to afford the lawsuits that would come from kids hitting themselves in confusion. So the idea was pitched that it should be apparent that there is a difference right as you are buying the game. This led to the two-version system, which is still used to suck our wallets dry to this day. Nowadays, it's obviously a massive cash grab scheme that we somehow keep falling for, but back then, it truly was a way to encourage players to seek out other players, as you couldn't get all the Pokemon in one copy of the game. You had to trade with your friends, which I think helped contribute to its popularity at the time. And I guess now's as good a time as any to mention that you can indeed trade Pokemon with other trainers, and by that I mean other real people playing the same Pokemon game as you. Traded Pokemon have a bunch of quirks associated with them, most important of which are accelerated experience rates, and they'll become disobedient if they are too high of level. Man, I need to get that mechanics video done. I told you there's too much information in this game to just throw out there without any context.